So, in recent news this week, Signal is stating that they may be walking away from the UK market because the UK Parliament are now moving forward with an online safety bill that is directly targeting their messaging service and specifically targeting their end-to-end encryption. So Signal is an encrypted messages service that allows users to send private messages that use end-to-end encryption that only the sender and the recipient can read. Using Signal, no one can intercept the messages, they can't read them, and Signal can't read them, the governments can't read them, service providers can't read them. The goal is to keep users' messages private and secure and not allow people to intercept those messages. So the UK online safety bill is pushing forward to, as the UK is stating, to target terrorism and child abuse material that is online and stopping the spread of child abuse material. Now, although I'm fully behind stopping terrorists and child abusers, I think the way the UK government is targeting encrypted messaging service as a solution to stopping terrorists and child abuse material being spread is the wrong way to go about it. I think on paper, as they are stating and portraying to the population that terrorists and child abusers use these messaging services such as Signal to plan nefarious activity and exchange material and communicate, which they do because the messaging services are built around security and privacy, which keeps their information secure and private, but it also keeps 99.9% of the users that use Signal, their messages private also. So although the UK government are not wrong in the fact that yes, criminals are using these services because they are very good at keeping information private, this is not going to be the solution to stop their nefarious activity. I also think that the UK government are treating this as a very kind of black and white situation, or they're making it appear to be very obvious that this is the solution, where in fact it's a very grey area, and that although, yeah, this is going to stop criminals communicating, they're going to reduce the communication methods that criminals have. However, they're not removing their intentions and they're not stopping them from committing crimes. They're just removing an avenue of communication. They're also risking and sacrificing a huge population of people that use these apps and that use encryption to keep themselves secure and safe from hackers and bad people and governments and service providers from spying on them and reading their messages. They're now taking that away as also. So the UK government are claiming that if they install the backdoor in Signal's application, as well as other encrypted messages apps, this will now stop and reduce terrorist activity, child abuse material being spread, and other criminal activities from happening. While, yes, they will catch criminals and they will stop the way they communicate, all they're going to do is, one, find another avenue of communication. I mean, they've been around since before encrypted messages have been around. And also, where does the line get drawn between now reading terrorists and criminal messages and now reading the everyday user just because maybe they're connected or associated, or how far out do they go in a social bubble from, just because maybe we're friends of a friend who is a criminal? Does that give the government the right to now spy on the criminal's friends and family who use these encrypted apps? Now their privacy is now being violated and sacrificed just so the government can now read that one criminal's messages. Are they able to read 10, 20, 30 other people that are connected to this person just on a suspicion? These encrypted apps were designed and built and using for a reason, is because it's the people that use them and that are aware of them are not wanting their information to be read and not wanting their information to be shared out of their control, or as much as their control as possible. So the reason I use Signal and other apps similar to Signal is because I like messaging my friends and family, knowing that it's a secure way. The messages aren't going to be intercepted. I'm going to feel more confident using it. The same way I use a VPN. I don't want my service provider having any logs or tracks of what I'm doing online. I like the fact that my information is private, and I'm sure the people watching too, they enjoy the fact that they can stay anonymous, or they can stay as secure online as possible from governments and criminals. So the fact that the UK government is now targeting encrypted service that is used, in my opinion, by the majority of people for good, and they're now trying to take that service away to try and solve something that it's not going to solve. Taking away an encrypted communication is not going to stop terrorism. It's not going to stop criminals being criminal. You're removing an avenue of communication. You're not taking away their intentions. And also, the snowball effect of giving up encrypted communication today, what's that going to be like in 10 years from now? If they give up, we'll give up encryption today, we'll let you put a backdoor in the application so you can, spy on criminals and stop them. Yep, we trust you to do that. Well, in 10 years, what's that going to look like for the internet, for communication, for end user privacy, end user security? I don't think it's going to exist. If they allow a little, it's going to lead to a lot in 10, 15 years from now. Also, installing a backdoor in an application just for the government doesn't mean it's just going to be used for the government. I mean, it's going to take a skilled hacker, but allowing a backdoor or a weakness in an application is going to be exploited eventually. If it takes, a day, 2 days, a year, a hacker will be able to use that backdoor that is installed for access. Just because the government's saying that they're the only ones that can use it doesn't mean they're going to be the only ones that are going to use it. As well as the government or hackers, people in Signal are now going to have access to people's information, and that's going to lead to insider threat. It's now going to lead to criminals, blackmailing or paying or finding ways to get users in Signal to give them access, or to social engineer them and manipulate them to give them access. So opening up a backdoor just for the government is not going to be used just for the government. So Signal saying that they are going to walk away if the UK force this backdoor on encrypted messaging services is very refreshing, in my opinion. I think it's a great thing. I think it's going to serve the greater good for sure. I think it's a great thing. I think it's really going to prove a point, and I think it's really going to rally up the other encrypted messaging services like Telegram and WhatsApp to also do the same and also walk away if they have to. And hopefully this is going to be enough to show governments that end user privacy is important. It's the security standards are being improved and set for reasons, because users don't want their information being spread and accessed from people that aren't meant to be accessing it. In the world we live in today, as online as we are, it's impossible not to have information out there. So to have applications and software and companies prioritizing security and prioritizing the end user and taking a stand by it is really refreshing. And I love the fact that Signal is willing to say that they're going to walk away from the UK market. And I just hope that the UK government see that, realize it, and try a different avenue and focus their efforts in a different avenue on stopping criminal activity and stopping what they are intending to stop or wanting to stop, but just not doing so on the sacrifice and the detriment to everyone else in the UK. So let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'd love to read them either way. I hope other applications and companies that focus around security also see this and take a stance next to Signal and rally up behind them and agree with what they're doing, and give pushback to governments that are trying to reduce and stop end users having the right to privacy and security while online. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. I'll link the articles down below, so if you want to go ahead and read up on Signal and keep up with it, they'll be in the description below. Until next time, my name is Sam, and this is Cyber Insecure.